Welcome back to our beginner-friendly Python course. Today we're unlocking one of the most important concepts in programming, which is functions. So we are going to learn today what is a function, why use functions, creating your own function, parameters and return values, types of argument, built-in versus user-defined functions, and a real-life mini project. So what is a function? A function is just like a machine. You give it input, it processes something, and it gives you output. In Python, function helps you organize code, avoid repetition, and make it easier to debug. Let's open your terminal and see how to use it. Okay, now let's see how we can create a function in Python. So in Python, we create a function by writing with def. So when we write this, it defines that it's going to be a function. So let's name that function as, say, hello. So this is the name of our function. Now we have to give a parameter here. So let's give this parameter name as name, and let's print here hello name. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll call that function and put a value in this parameter. To do this, we'll write here, say, hello. We have called the function. Now inside that, instead of name, we'll write our own parameter. Like we can write here world. Okay. Now suppose we can also write here, say, okay, so now if we run this, you can see hello world is printed. So what is happening here? Here we took a parameter, and then after calling the function, we give the value of this parameter. So if I update this, like if I write here something like this and then print, you can see there's another one printed. Hello Alice, hello world. So what is doing here? What I did here, we are using this portion of code of function whenever we need it. And how we want to use it, we just change the parameter value. So if you want to, so in function, whenever in your code you want to do a specific task again and again or somewhere else, or after some times, or in a specific task, you make a function and then you call it and you use it. So this is how we, in Python, we write function and use it. Now let's see what is default parameter. As I have already told you, this one is a parameter, right? If I don't write anything here and try to print something, nothing is printed, right? Because I didn't give any value of this parameter. Now we can define this like this way, equals to, like this. So it will be our default parameter, means when we didn't call anything, any function, then it'll automatically show this. Like this way. If I print this, like say hello and space, like I didn't give a parameter here. So if I print this, you can see hello world is printed because world was the default parameter. But if I change here, like Sam, hello Sam is printed. See, because it is updated, because after calling this, I put this value. Now that instead of this, it is printed. So this was the default parameter, how that works. Now I'll show you the returning value. So the return, so why we use the returning function? Let's see. Suppose I'm taking here div square and then num. Okay. And if I write a return num square. So this is how I'll write it. And I'll make a variable name result equals to square 5. So I have given here the square parameter value as 5. So what it will do, it would be 5 square. So let's print this result. And so this 5, okay, sorry, it should be square here. So if I print this, you can see that 25 is printed. So this is how you can use the return value, the return function. So in line 1, what you can see, we defined the function as name of square and give a parameter named num, and then the return keyword, which sends a value back to whenever the function was called. Here we return the square of num. Now here the result equals to the square 5. This calls the functions with 5 and stores the returned value and result. In line 5, we printed our result. Now let's see multiple return values. So how to write that? Let's diff get stats, get stats numbers, and okay, and right here return like mean. We'll find out the mean of numbers, max numbers, sum numbers, and the length of the numbers. So there's too many returns you can see as return mean numbers, max numbers, sum numbers, and the length numbers. Okay. Now what I will do here, I'll make here some variables like low, high, average equals to get stats like this. And I'll print everything what I have. Okay. Now if I print this, you can see the low is 1, high is 5, and average is 3. So line 1, the get stats take a list is called numbers, right? So it would be a list because this is a list. Now in return, we have the three things, which is mean numbers, max numbers, and the average, which is sum numbers divided by length of the numbers. Now here we have the variables like low, high, and average, which is get stats 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So print here will print the low, high, and average. So this is how we can use the multiple return values. Now let's move to variable scope. So what is variable scope? So here we'll create a global variable, which is x equals to 10. Then we'll make a function here, def modify, and we'll write here global x equals to 20, and print inside function x, and then modify, and then print outside function modify x. Okay, so what we have done here, first we have created a global variable x with value of 10. Inside the function global x tells the Python we want to use the x, which would be 20. The value will be 20, and then we'll print x from inside the function. Then call modify, so it runs, and let's print outside modify x. So outside the function value of the x will be printed here, and inside the function the x value will be printed here. So let's see. If I print it, you can see inside modify we have 20 because we have changed the value. So outside is also 20 because we have changed the value inside the function. Now let's move to the next topic, which is functions with loops. So let's see how we can use loops in function. First write a function name def even numbers, and we give it as a name of limit, and then for I in range limit +1, and if I although we have here, and we'll write here print I, and here we'll even numbers is 10. So what we have done here, first the function even numbers takes a limit, then for I range limits +1 loops from 0 up to limit. Then it checks if the number is even or not. If it is, then it's print it is even. Then we call the function even numbers and give it the value of 10. And let's print it. And you can see 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. The even numbers are printed. Now I'll show you function calling functions. So do this. First, make a function def square. Give it as num. And then return square values. Okay, so we'll write a num, then square. Okay, so then write def sum of squares, and then print the sum of squares 3 and 4. Okay, so what we have done here, in first here we return the square of a number. So in return function we square a number. Then in second function, what to do here, we do here the addition of the square values of two numbers, which is already squared from this function. Then in print, the print sum of squares are 3, 4. So what is happening here? That first 3 is going to this function and then it squared that. Then the value is coming here, and then for 4 it goes this function, square it, and comes here. So here square a is coming from here, square b is also coming from this function. And after that, we're just doing a square plus b square, then the value will be 3 square plus 4 square equals to 25. Now if I print this, you can see the value is 25. Now let's say what is lambda function. So first write square equals to lambda, then x square 2, then print square 5, like add lambda add equals to lambda a comma b, then a plus b. And I would like to here print add 3, 4. So lambdas are short anonymous functions. Lambda x here, this period is equivalent to the def square x, which returns square values. So this is a more shortcut version, and then these are very much usable for the quick operation. Now if I print this, you can see the value is 7 comes here. So 7 because we plus add here, and for square the 5 square value is come here. So before doing square, we had to write much more longer code, but using lambda it's much more shorter version. Now I'll show you recursion. So a recursive function is when a function is calling by own, so it is calling its own self. So first for this we have to make a function which is factorial, and then name it as n, and then if n equals to 0, then return 1, or return n factorial n minus 1. Now if I print this and find out the value of factorial 5, so here inside this function I have called the function factorial. You can see inside this function we are calling its own self. So this is called a recursion. So if n equals to 0, the base case to stop recursion, or it is not, then it will multiply n by the factorial of n minus 1. It will be return the value. Now let's print this, and you can see the factorial of 5 is 120. So this was a short video about functions and the basic of functions. I hope you understand how you can use functions very easily in Python. Here by using function, I'll now show you a very cool and a very simple project. So the project is a Python pizza order calculator. So first write your project name, that Python pizza order calculator. So it will calculate the cost of your pizza as per your order. So first let's make a function name, def calculate pizza cost. So pizza cost, and then I'll give some parameters. So I need the size. Now add cheese. If you want to add cheese on your pizza, then add pepperoni. And then, okay, so these are enough 3 parameters I have given here. Now the initial cost is 0. Now I will write here the base price according to size. So if size equals to small, then the cost will be plus equals to 8. Now else if the size is medium, the cost would be 12. And if the size is large, the cost would be 15. Okay, now if here you want to add something additional cost for cheese, so if you add cheese and is equals to yes, then the cost is plus minus 1. Now if you want to add pepperoni, and if the pepperoni is yes, then what will happen here? If the size is small, then it will cost extra 1. If the size is medium, the cost will be extra 2. And the size is large, then it will cost 3. Now we have written all this information inside our calculate of the pizza cost section. Now we'll go to our take order function. We'll make a new function here and give it the name of diff take order. And we'll write here print welcome to Python pizza order calculator. Okay, suppose it's a restaurant, so name it a Python pizza. Then size equals to input. What size of pizza do you want? Okay, so let's write this way. And if you want to add cheese, so we make a variable to add cheese, and then add pepperoni. Okay, and then we'll make a total. So total equals to calculate pizza cost according to size and pepperoni. So print the total bill. Now we'll run the pizza order system by just take order. Okay. Now if I run this, let's see does it work or not. Then I'll explain to you what's happening here. So which size do you want? I want a small one. So do you want extra cheese? No. Do you want pepperoni? Yes. Your total cost, it is showing none. Why it is showing none? So what we have done here, let's see. Okay, so I made a mistake here that after this, I didn't add here the return cost. So that's why it showed nothing. Now I hope it'll be fine. Let's try it again. So I want a small size pizza. Yes, no. And your total cost is 9. Now it's correct. You can see now the code is working properly. So what we have done here, that we define the calculate pizza cost function, which takes the size and add the basket and the cheese choice and the pepperoni choice as parameters. Then we start at the cost 0. Okay. Then we check the pizza size and add the base cost of the pizza. After that, if cheese is selected, then we have added $1. And if our pepperoni is selected, then according to size, we add the cost. After that, we made a function which is take order and print welcome to our Python pizza. Then we made here, which is the size input. We took the information from the user, like which size that he or she wanted. Then if they want extra cheese or not, then they want pepperoni or not, all the information we got here. Then the total, the calculate pizza cost. Then we call the function, which is this, and give the value of size, add cheese, pepperoni here, and then it calculated, and finally it print this, and we run the take order function, and the result is here. You can see. So this was the video today. I hope you liked this.